everybody and welcome back to my channel. I am doing a review comparison thing of Tim Holtz Distress Crayons. This is set 2 and I was going to do a review slash whatever of these a little while back, but I've just kind of been playing with them on and off and now I feel ready to do it. What I wanted to say is that Amazon, in their infinite stupidity, when I ordered this pack, sent me 2. I'm giving this set away, so if you want to win this set anywhere in the world, as usual, of Tim Holtz Distress Crayons, and I'm going to leave this open for maybe 4 weeks. I'll put in the video description what date this closes on, because I don't know what date I'm uploading this video. Just state where in the world you are and why you want this set, and be imaginative as you can, and I will send it to a lucky individual. This set has not been opened. So back to the originals. I think it's needless to say, if I really loved them, I'd want to keep both sets, so I didn't. I was doing some shopping today and I was in Flying Tiger Copenhagen, which is kind of like the homewares department of IKEA, but that's a whole chain of shops. They're all over Scandinavia. There's a few in the UK, 2 in the USA. If you have one near you, they sell art supplies now and again. They're very hit and miss in what they have and what the quality is. But I noticed something that looked very similar to the Distress Crayons today, and on the shelf the tag said twistable gel crayons, and I thought, oh, and I looked at the packaging and I realised it was very similar. And on the packaging, the translation is twistable soft crayons. The name in Danish is Bløde Farver, which is soft colours, I suppose, not even crayons. And if we compare, apart from the sort of different colourways, if you have a look at them side by side, I think it's fairly easy to tell these were probably manufactured in the same place. They are exactly identical, every shape, every detail of them, apart from the actual branding section. The diameters are the same, everything's the same. When I open them and I smell them, strong smell of almonds, which is probably an almond oil based detergent or something in there with the Distress ones, and strong smell of almonds with the Bløde Farver. So I think it's fair to say these are probably the same thing. The only main difference is going to be that the Distress ones are obviously in Tim Holtz's palette of colours, and I know he's just releasing, because it's whatever they've called CHA now, I've forgotten. I keep forgetting what it's now called. It's something silly like craftification. I don't like the new name, but I know he's launching a whole load of new ones, and I'll link to his video in the iCards now about his new Distress ones. But if you have a Flying Tiger Copenhagen near you, or you see any other products that look really similar, take a chance. These were 8 for £4, so these cost 50p each, which is about 70 cents at the moment, although the pound is fucked because of Brexit, so who knows how much that really translates to now. The Tim Holtz ones are more like £10 to £15 for 6, so they're more like $2 to $3 each. 75 cents. Probably the same thing. I mean, hello. So I'm going to just do a little swatchage, and we'll have a look at them and see what we can do with them. Now, the point of these is these are really water-soluble oil pastels, if we give them their more common name. You probably have encountered water-soluble oil pastels from multiple companies. Gelato is probably the most common line, known as gel sticks in some countries and in some shops. So the first one is Tim Holtz Festive Berries. You'll see it goes on really easily. It goes on very buttery, very rich, very thick. I'm using a watercolour paper here because, well, it's a watercolour, almost a cardstock. It's a watercolour postcard. This is Rusty Hinge. I won't tell you what I refer to that colour as, but it rhymes with Rusty Hinge. I've renamed all the Distress colours. A friend and I went through all of them and tried to come up with rude alternatives to all of them. We have parodied the whole series. Sorry, Tim Holtz. If you will sell overpriced shit, that will happen. That was Fossilised Amber. This one is Peeled Paint. When I was going through the sets and deciding which one to review, I picked this set because the colours in it are a palette that I would probably find myself using. I mean, I do like his aesthetic. I do like his colours. I like a lot of his products. What I don't like are the prices. and I don't like the fact that a lot of them you can buy the same thing already, like gelatos. And if you look at Tim Holtz's own video of these versus gelatos, which I'll link to in the iCards now, he basically proves they're the same fucking thing. There's very little difference. So he basically shows that in his own video. So draw your own conclusions there. But again, like most products, there are not many manufacturers of water-soluble oil pastels in the world. They're probably being made by the same company. These are made in China, and are described as non-toxic but adult use only. The Bløde Farver are made in China, so there we go. So I'll put the Bløde Farver out in rainbow order as well, so that the colours are kind of side by side. Okay, so that red is a bit lighter. It's, you know, if we looked at the other Tim Holtz reds, I would bet there's one that's probably fairly similar. There's an orange. Obviously, the Bløde Farver don't have names. That's a really nice orange. The yellow. With Tim Holtz, obviously, you only get 6, but with Bløde Farver, you get more. There's only one. I think it's Bundled Sage from Tim Holtz. You have to buy as open stock because it's not included in any of the packs of 6, because the white one makes them all odd numbers. It's a shame because that's one of my favourite colours of his. The green, which is going to be a really bright green, yeah. And these go on really easily. They're going on as buttery and as simply as the others. Light blue. There's no difference in the application. They're wearing down in the same way, the same rate. Smell exactly the same. And that dark blue is very similar to that dark blue. The Tim Holtz one's a bit darker. I'll do the pink now. The pink is quite a transparent. I've just picked up a bit of blue in the pink there. It's quite a transparent pink. And then there's a black here, which would probably be the same as Black Soot by Tim Holtz, because there's not many different ways you can make a black. I'll just put the Bløde Farver back in their box. If you're Danish and I'm mispronouncing Bløde Farver, sorry, but do tell me. I try very hard to make sure my pronunciation is correct, and I do speak a fair bit of Danish, so I'm fairly certain it's not terribly inaccurate. So you can see the texture is very similar, the way they coat the paper. Very similar between the two. Let's try first of all a bit of smearing. I'll start at the red end and just do some friction smearing with my finger. You get the usual, they will smear a bit, but not much, because they're oil-based, and oil-based things are a little bit harder and waxier to move than a chalkier product. So I think it's fair to say that apart from the fact that the dark blue is very smeary in those ones, they don't smear very differently. They're fairly similar. If you look at those side by side, very, very similar indeed. Next thing we're going to do is apply water. Now, the Bløde Farver don't mention that they're water soluble. They just describe themselves as either twistable pastels, twistable crayons, or twistable gel crayons. So I'm going to take a wet brush. This is a Dalon 8, size 8 round from Daler & Rowney. It's their professional synthetic. It's from the D77 line, and I've just wet it with normal water. And I'm going to first of all start just on the red side there. And I'm just I'm not washing the brush in between each colour. I just want to show that they do lift and wet. And do the same with the Bløde Farver. Oh, it's exactly the same. I'm just re-washing and re-wetting my brush after the blue because of its intensity before I do a pink. And I've managed to get some black into that pink, but they're exactly the same in that regard. So in terms of how they move with friction, the same. How they move with water, the same. The only difference between Tim Holtz Distress Crayons and Bløde Farver from Flying Tiger Copenhagen so far is that obviously these are made with Tim's signature palette and certain pigment combinations, and these are not. That's all. That really is the only difference I can see between them. Now, there are a lot of techniques that are very popular. with the Distress line, and one of them is putting over a stencil, or a piece of cardstock in this case, and wetting the adjacent material, and you see foam because there is a detergent mixed into them. That's how they're water soluble. It's an emulsifier, which is another way of saying detergent really in this case. That's probably why they smell of almonds. And then you wipe off on that side and you get a nice line. Terribly wasteful, but it works. I'm going to do the same on the Bløde Farver. I'm going to turn the paper over so that I'm using clean side. I know I do have some Danish followers like Rebecca Frusi who might be able to tell me if Bløde Farver is indeed a reasonable pronunciation. Okay, I see no differences. Now obviously I've muddied this completely because I've put colours just next to each other and done it. I haven't put colours that are going to mix very well. So on both sides we've got mud, but you can see lifted, lifted. There's no difference. So I can't see a difference between Tim Holtz Distress and Bløde Farver at all. Now, if you like his line so much that you must have exactly these colours, you're probably going to want to buy his colours. I would advise you wait till there's a sale like January sales or whatever. Never pay full price if you're trying to get hold of a product, or you have a coupon or a voucher or whatever and you can get them cheap. Don't pay full price for them. If you just want some water soluble gel crayons that you can use in this kind of work, get gelato, get gel stick, get Bløde Farver, get anything else you can get your hands on. But what I would say is if you want something that will definitely do all the things that Distress claims it can do, get Bløde Farver, find a Flying Tiger, or find anything that is actually in the same pen, the same, you know, where you look at it and they're identical. The packaging is identical, the lid shape is identical, the twisty bit at the bottom is identical, and I'm pretty certain that if I search the internet really hard I could probably find a company in China that sells these, and you can have custom colours and you can have custom barrel shapes. And what Distress and Ranger will have done is worked with them to make their signature colour blends. Everyone else probably just buys them off the shelf. I'm pretty certain there's just one company making them in the world, in China, and you know, they're fine. They do what they say they do. They blend, they lift with water, they blend with friction, they blend with water. You can stencil with them. I haven't seen, honestly, many techniques I like with the Tim Holtz Distress ones because they're just not a medium. I don't like oil pastels. I get frustrated with them. I don't like many oil products, to be honest, just because that's just not the kind of work I personally do. I like soft pastels. I like watercolours. I just wouldn't find that these are that useful for me. So if you want to, if you do like that kind of product and you find that you use them, go for it. I know Lindsay the Frugal Crafter's got some great videos, and if I can spot any immediately, I'll link in the iCards now, that actually use gelatos and similar products in card making. I know Jem Maguire does as well, and they make really beautiful things using them. I just can't see myself doing it because they're not really... The aesthetic just isn't one that I really like. But I will say that Bløde Farver from Flying Tiger Copenhagen and Distress Crayons from Tim Holtz at Ranger, same thing, different colours. It's like that scene in Rocky Horror Picture Show, by which I mean the real one, not the abysmal attempted remake that softens it so much that sex scenes don't even look like sex scenes. Pathetic. So sanitised. One of the callback lines is same bedroom, different colour. So there is an open set. If you want to win them, all you have to do is state below in the comments why. What you also need to do though is subscribe to this video and subscribe to my channel, I should say. Like this video and go over to my website, which is the-spin-doctor.co.uk, and if you haven't already signed up through the top right hand side, there's like a sign up kind of thingy where you put your email address in and press sign up. Sign up there and you'll get an email digesting newslettery thing of all my new posts on YouTube and on there, so you'll know what's coming. And I also sometimes use that to send out special information and special things that are coming up. So do both of those things and like this video and comment in the comments as to why you want them. Be as creative and innovative with your reason as you can, because it will amuse me, and you're more likely to get selected if you amuse me, let's say. Thank you very much, and good evening.